pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the record report that we're all present for the meeting this morning. All right, consent agenda. Any corrections, questions?
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Shea, second by Jorgensen to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, scheduled sessions. First up, we have John Fisher, trustee clerk, Neola Township. Discussion and/or decision to hold more than 3 township meetings for Neola Township.
Okay, and what I'm requesting on behalf of the trustees is an optional 4th meeting in December. We have our February budget meeting, March budget meeting to confirm it, and then we usually meet in September for signing the annual report. And so we go from September 1st to February. Sometimes we have cemetery issues and or maybe fire department issues. And so just an optional 4th meeting once a year. And if we don't need to, we won't do it. We didn't meet this past December because there weren't any issues. But, it's quite often, we will meet in December just for year-end things. And so if we could have an optional 4th meeting a year.
John, you said the fire department. Is that township or is that,
Well, it's the city of Neola.
okay,
that
and
owns
then the
fire
townships they cover?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So, we've met sometimes with some firemen over issues they may have, and maybe just a preliminary budget meeting for February, what your situation is. Our cemetery takes quite a little time. It's 22 acres. It's co-owned with the Catholic Church. And, sometimes there are issues back and forth over maintenance or something. And so it's just an optional 4th meeting. I won't spend your money if we don't need to, but if we have that option, some years we may need it.
It's your money.
I've been clerk 34 years now.
Well, thank you.
So, sometimes things come up. So
Yeah.
thank you for the pay increase. It was $20 a meeting forever until last year. So thank you for doubling it and going to 50 and paying the clerks is a big thing,
Yes.
We were paying myself $25 a month, and we were kind of getting into a conflict with the state over is that ethical or not to pay the township to pay the clerk, and so now you're doing it. So, but I argued it was my computer, my printer, my paper, my ink, my time. Who's going to do it if I quit? It's all volunteer, sorry.
Yep.
So your $50 a month is very nice. Thank you.
When you're on a board, you're usually #1 volunteer, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Belt, second by Shea to approve Neola's optional 4th meeting per year. And thank you. That is a tough job that you do, and we appreciate all of our township clerks.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not in the news much, is it?
Lots of complaints.
Right.
Yeah.
It works out. We've been
We
fine.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All those in
Thank you,
favor?
John. Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
You can't leave until you find your replacement, is that right?
We've had that discussion.
Maybe Dixie will move to Neola.
Oh, there we go.
She knows the rules. Thank you much.
Thanks,
for all
John.
you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for
John.
serving.
Yeah, the county road crews have done a great job. They've
Thanks.
been out there a lot of hours.
There you go, John. There's another one.
Recorder's on.
All right, next up, Shalimar Mazetis, Manager, Rural Development, Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. Presentation and a brief update from Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Paula sends her deepest apologies. She had a personal issue come up this morning and couldn't be here. She's going to get on your calendar either end of January or very beginning of February for her update, organizational update, Council Bluffs update, as well as some project work I think she's got going on. So I am here to talk about Not necessarily, I mean, last year, I'll give you the update, we had 4 landed projects in rural Potawatomi County totaling $9.8 million in capital investment. I know that doesn't sound like a lot coming off of 79 million last year, but that's, you know, the 9 to 12 million is kind of what we're normally aiming for. The 79 million was just a really wonderful added thing in 2022, but this is a more normal year shop for us. We have a lot going on. We are really, really busy in rural Potawatomi County. We've got a lot of stuff that potentially could be happening. We've got a lot of stuff that needs a lot of heavy lifting and hands all involved in it. I cannot thank you guys enough for the partnership with the county, with John and Matt. It's been wonderful and seamless and always really easy to work with them. So that's just an added benefit to what I get to do is I get to work with them, and then we all get to come together and support the businesses that are looking to locate in rural Potawatomi County. So with that being said, one of the projects that's taking up a lot of my time right now is the Walnut High School project. That is, we've got a developer that is going to turn the 1913 building in Walnut into apartments. We're thinking we can get 14 to 15 apartments out of it. Right now, we are doing the capital stack on that, so figuring out how to get it funded because it's quite a heavy lift. It is going to have ADA accessible, so it's going to have an elevator lift put into it. We're hoping that it's going to open up for aging in place. So our hope is that this is a place that residents can come that maybe don't need the giant 5-bedroom Victorian that somebody else would really love with all the family, and this gives them somewhere to stay in their community with their people, but in a little bit smaller place that has more accessible and is easier to get around. So excited about that project. It's taking up a lot of time because again, we're trying to figure out the capital stack and that involves a lot of different resources, but it's been going pretty well. So we'll keep you posted on that one. Another one is Project Pineapple. That's a manufacturing industrial company that's locating in Carter Lake. We are working on a developer's agreement with Carter Lake. We just opened for public comment on we're opening, on the 22nd at their council meeting. It was supposed to be last night, but because of the holiday, they moved it to the 22nd, so it'll open then. Excited to see that. It's gonna be a $15 million project in Carter Lake, which is gonna be great. It also brings in 55 new jobs into the area, which is pretty cool. So excited to see that. It's been a big lift and we're excited to see it get up and rolling. We also have Project Pleasant Shelby that just came online last week. And Matt and I have been having to work rather closely on that one to figure out what's going on and how we can support that project. So any project questions on that note before I jump into other stuff?
You said 55 jobs in Carter Lake?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Coming from Nebraska too. So we're excited about that.
Good.
Yeah. And it's a previously blighted building that they're going to be upgrading and updating, and it's next to their golf course too. And the company is coming in with an urban renewal revite that's going to make that area look a lot prettier and nicer too. So we're excited to see them putting in the effort there. Company's been very
And the
willing.
Shelby one is in Pot County, is it?
It is, yes.
Shalimar, are those projects, they qualify for any state funding, state grants?
No. Project Pineapple qualifies for, they're using 260E and F. The state incentives weren't necessarily that enticing for them. It was actually the E that made them decide to locate there. The 260E through Western Community College. That was the big kicker for them. They're really excited about it. They're excited to train up their workforce. They're thinking they can actually expand their current workforce after a couple of years because of those training dollars and continue to grow and train people internally. So I was excited to see that because that is a great program. Okay, good on that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Some things I wanted to update you on. Vibrant Rural Communities, the New Cities program, is going to have our first meeting of 2024 on February 20th. We're going to be at Back 40. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to chat about all the things having to do with all their projects. As you guys know, we're kind of taking the approach that we took with our PCIC and combining it with the cities program. And we're looking at it saying, this is how we're going to do things where we have all of the project lists every year updated by the city clerks and administrators so that if at any point you guys wanted to jump in and find out what projects are going on in any individual town, you have it at your will.
What day is that?
That's on February 20th. And you're welcome to come if you want, just let me know, I need to do reservations and that kind of stuff. And remember, if you're there, you're silently there.
Who are the,
Because this is for my clerks and my administrators to talk about their projects, so.
who are the board representatives on that? Do we have one?
We don't have any.
We don't-
It's just
we
if
don't.
you would like to come, you can, but the members on
We
that
used
are the
to-
clerks and the administrators.
In the cities program we used to have,
We did.
Yes,
but this is,
it's totally changed.
Yeah,
We've
well-
done away with having a structured board and that kind of thing. The members of the vibrant rural communities are the clerks and the administrators. They're allowed to bring one guest, and that can be a mayor or a city council member if they want to. The biggest reason for that is that we had a lot of mayors attending, and mayors tend to change hands, and city clerks are the ones that usually stay in their positions for a really long time. And we need that knowledge base in order to know what we should be funding and how it should look. So our thought process was to switch that over, the member being the one that is the city clerk or administrator.
I've been here too long, because I've been here where city clerks have changed faster than mayors.
And sometimes that's the case.
One specifically.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's the case, so. It's going really well, though. We had a great meeting last year. So this will be our first full calendar year representing vibrant rural communities, which we're calling VIBE for short. Any questions on that?
It'll be interesting to find out how many of those communities are looking at digging new wells or doing something for water projects.
I would say 10 out of the 12 are currently engaged in that in some way, shape, or form. Some sort of water, sewer, something.
You said you spent $79 million last year?
No,
Right.
no, $79 million in 2022 is what we had in capital investment
Oh, okay, I
for
see.
rural Potawatomi County.
Okay.
Yeah, and this year we had $9.8 million, which is more reasonable than what we should be.
And so how does that funding, how do you collect that?
Well, we don't collect it, it's marked up capital investment, so it's when a company does something and we help with the company, we
Okay,
get to count that towards capital investment towards the county.
I see.
So
Okay,
we get to
all
count, we get to say that we helped with it because we did.
right, okay.
We don't claim anything that we haven't helped or assisted with. So last, 2 years ago, it was, Jack Links did a $55 million expansion. That was a big piece of it, and then Menards did a $15 million expansion on their facility
Okay.
as well.
So is there gonna be a list from each of those communities, and then, I guess, the rest of rural Pot County after those meetings put together? Of what,
There is currently a list, yes. I meet with every
but I
city.
mean, that's gonna get updated at this meeting, right?
It actually gets updated before the meeting so that we're just talking about the meat of the meeting and what they're going after.
And then can we get, I guess, a copy of that?
Absolutely, yes. You guys actually have access to it, I think, already. It's on a Google Doc, so it's constantly live and updated. I know Mitch has access to it, so, yeah, absolutely. You guys can peruse it. That was, one of the goals of this was to give you guys, if you were talking about something, that you could go in and see if they already have that on their list as a project that they're working on. And that includes everything that could be funded under Vibrant Rural Communities and also maybe couldn't. So Vibrant Rural Communities doesn't fund any police or fire stations, and they won't fund roads. Those are like some of the completely no-goes on that, and we have those included on the project list, just so that we have a fully comprehensive list of what projects are really important to our cities and what they're currently working on. And
What
Matt
about a
Wyatt
community
and John
center?
both have access to it as well.
Community centers?
Yes, everything, anything that the city is spending money on that they're working towards is on that list. The main goal being that what I would like to do is I would get back to asking $1 million in funding every year from my West Foundation. And I would like to see every single city have an application. So that's what our goal is, and maybe that can happen, some years it can't, you know. But the goal is for the clerks to talk about it and say who needs to apply for what are we doing, so everyone sees what everyone else's projects are, and if there's a chance for them to team up on something, they can.
So there's no jurisdiction that's out of bounds with South?
As far as the list goes, no,
Okay.
there's no jurisdiction. VIBE has rules, and that goes through me and West Foundation, and we look at it and decide which projects will move forward. West Foundation, at the end of the day, has all of the jurisdiction on the funding
I see.
and on the access to it. So next up we have, I wanted to encourage you guys, if you're not familiar with the Iowa Rural Development Council, they do an Iowa Rural Summit that is on April 10th through 12th. It's only $200 for 3 people to attend. A lot of other counties have had supervisors attending, and I think it was really cool, and I think they've gotten a lot out of it. It's just a cool 2 days in Ames for you guys to kind of see what other towns are doing. They have a lot of case studies of things that are going well, things that aren't going well. It's a great idea sharing, and it's just one of those pieces that I feel like really connects to the rural part of our community. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys that if you can, registration is open for it, April 10th through 12th. If you can get it to Ames, if you guys bring a team of 3, and it can be whatever team of 3 you want, it's $200 total for everybody. Not each person, they keep it really cheap. They fund it through the governor. The governor has a little bit of discretionary funds that go into it to keep it at a reasonable cost for cities to go to. So if you were interested, get in touch with me or just Google IRDC Rural Summit. It's really cool. There's about 400 people that attend, and I'm just wanted to encourage you for that. Next, I wanted to encourage you that the National Rural Economic Development Association is going to have their annual conference in November in Omaha. So that's just right here, hop, skip, and a jump away. I'd love to see some of our supervisors attend and get some ideas. This is a cool conference that focuses on national rural economic development and telcos specifically. And so that is November 11th or 12th through the 15th. And it's going to be at the Marriott in Omaha. The registration for that is also open. And then I am going to be writing to present on the RPCIC project that we did and just kind of highlight it. So I'm excited. Hopefully I'll get selected so we can present on that and kind of show the rest of the country, you know, what we do and why I think that the RPCIC worked so well and how it all came together. So, and then just updating you, and because I know everybody wasn't here, but in September of last year, I was asked to sit on the Empower Rural Iowa board, which I'm really excited about, and it's been a really eye-opening experience. I brought the annual report, if anybody wants it, from the last meeting. That's been a great experience to just learn more about what's going on in our state from the Lieutenant Governor and find out more about kind of the consolidation that they're doing. They've consolidated down all of their boards and have narrowed down what they're granting for as well. So I'm hoping that the more money and grants means that we can make more of an impact. So if you want to look at it or have a chat about it.
Could you send it to the board?
Yeah,
To all
absolutely.
of us?
That's how to use it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then also I got voted on to the Professional Developers of Iowa Board of Directors, which I'm really excited about. We just had their last conference here in September in Council Bluffs. And that's a great way for us to stay connected across the state and kind of be aware of what's going on. And I also got voted on to the National Rural of Economic Development Association board, and it's been really eye-opening to be on that one as well. What I'm most excited about that is every year they put together a paper of rural issues across the country, and they take it to Washington, D.C. and meet with a whole bunch of leadership and talk about the issues that are going on in rural America. So I'm excited to be part of the national conversation on that and excited to be a part of those meetings in Washington, D.C. so that we can maybe keep making more and more of an impact as far as rural Iowa goes. That we're here, we're excited, we're ready for work, we're ready for anybody who wants to locate, you know. So that's kind of what I had. Does anybody have any questions?
That's gonna keep you really busy.
Yeah, we're busy. It's great though. Everything's going really good.
And you still have the office in Oakland.
Saw the office in Oakland. It had a almost 10-foot drift in front of it. So that was fun for my husband to clear. I let him take care of that one. But yeah, it's going well. Anything?
Meeting this Friday?
Huh?
Meeting this Friday?
For advance? No.
Next Friday?
That one is on the 26th.
Got it.
Thank you guys.
Shall we?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Keep you posted.
Thank you.
Right.
Stay warm.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we we have John Rasmussen, engineer, discussion and/or decision to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 11-2024, a joint project agreement for the construction of a pedestrian trail along Eastern Hills Drive.
Sure. So we built in the city of Council Bluffs, one of the requirements is to build a sidewalk or a pedestrian trail. Where we're at, there's really nothing to connect to it, it doesn't make sense. So I got an agreement with the city that we'll build it when they're ready and there's other sidewalks to connect to. Because my fear, we'll build it, we'll have to plow snow on it, nobody will use it, it'll fall apart. We'll build a second one by the time they get there. So this just kind of makes it so that the city can spur us to build that when they're ready.
Why didn't that come up when we went to get our plans?
Yeah, we were probably been working on this the last 3 or 4 months, I guess, but yeah.
No, but I mean, that should have went through everybody's desk when it was in the city, if I was gonna build in the city.
Yeah, I did hear about that at the plan review or later. We could have changed order in the project, I just didn't feel like it's worth putting money into.
No, I don't think until it's, got 2 connections at either end.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have they got a date that they think they're gonna do something?
No,
No.
there's some, they're gonna wait until they design something and
Okay.
there's
I don't know if
a lot
it'll
of
ever happen,
empty
not in my
spots.
lifetime probably, but.
I don't know that they're gonna build any more on that side, are they?
There's some around there.
Property to the south, I mean, that could be developed, I
Right.
guess, but
Yeah,
mostly it fronts.
it's a little tougher going to the, what would that be, north? East, whatever that way direction would be, a little tougher.
Yeah, to
Going
the
A little
south,
tougher going towards 6.
yeah, there's really nothing, 6.
You'd have to almost jump across, I would think. When I looked at it, but.
I don't see the trail or sidewalk or even development going further north than where we're at.
Well,
It's not on the
I'm
east
for
side.
as many trails as we can get, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Even if they don't connect?
They'll get it, and I like John's thing, let's do it when the city comes along.
Second.
Do we need to reserve funds for that, or?
In the agreement, there was some notice they're gonna give us so we can budget for it, so, no, I don't think we need to earmark anything for that now.
Could be 10 years from now, Susan.
Right, exactly.
Could be even longer, yeah.
We
But
could
they're gonna
all be
give us notice
flying-
before we
flying
budget.
cars by then.
More needs, bro.
There's the one guy that poured
Need landing strips.
gasoline down his driveway and lit it on fire because he didn't want to shovel the snow.
Did it work?
I don't know.
All right, so we have a motion by Shay, a second by Bell to approve resolution number 11-2024. Becky, would you call the roll, please?
Chairperson Miller,
Aye.
Supervisors Belt,
Aye.
Wickman,
Aye.
Shea,
Aye.
Jorgensen.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have John Rasmussen again, resolution number 12-2024 to modify the 2024 secondary roads 5-year program.
Sure, have a couple different things going on here. The RAISE grant, when we applied for that, we didn't have any tracking numbers with the DOT, so I had to change tracking numbers on that, the project number, so that caused one change. Also, we don't have the grant agreement yet, so I moved that project into 24. Federal 24 starts in October, so there's no way if I get an agreement now, if I even reach October, so we're kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern on when we get the grant agreement and let that project, so. I also changed, Dumfries and 240th was programmed to be let July of last year. We're getting prepared to let that now, so I'd move that into this year as well. So just moving some projects around and cleaning up the project numbers, really nothing new other than getting my report audit worthy, I guess.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second. John, on the Magnolia Bridge, will that be a state letting?
Yes, that'll be left to the DOT.
So who's the lead county? Is it Clay County that's the lead county on
Clay
that?
County is the lead county on that. So
Do we have any idea when the funds are gonna come?
I heard that we should see a draft in February.
A draft of what?
the funding agreement from the feds. It's been going back and forth that way.
When the, oh gosh, that road that we partnered with the city on, I can't come up with the name right now, leads you to Highway 6.
Eastern Hills Tract?
Yes, that one. How long was that in the works before the funding actually came?
That was a congressional earmark, so that was a lot.
10, 15 years?
Yeah, it was, I think it was
We can't-
2004.
We don't expect that here, do we?
No, the problem with that one is, since they went across new right away, they had to do all those environmental assessments. And that's what took them so long. So if we're on an existing road and just widen it a little bit, it kind of streamlines all those environmental things. So anytime you got new right away, I try to avoid federal funds, because there's all that extra paperwork and hearings
In years.
in years, yes.
Okay,
Christmas trees.
good.
All right, so we have a motion by Shay and a second by Jorgensen to approve resolution number 12-2024. Becky, will you call the roll, please?
Chairperson Miller,
Aye.
Supervisors Belt,
Aye.
Wickman,
Aye.
Shay,
Aye.
Jorgensen.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, John, one more. Discussion and/or decision to approve and authorize the board chair to sign the last page of the final voucher for project STBG-SWAP-C078-201 or FG78.
Sure. Right now, we're closing out a lot of projects with the DOT, and this is another one we're wrapping up. So this is South of Minden there. The contracted amount was approximately 4.8 million.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Wickman, second by Belt to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
And there's signature blocks on every page. You only have to sign the last page.
This is the last one. All right. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Yes,
Tell the guys, good job.
Try letting them,
I'm sure they're wearing out.
They are working on, yes.
All right, next up, Maria Seek, Administrator, Public Health. Discussion or decision to approve and authorize chair to sign the clinical services provider agreement with Michaela Reynolds, APRN-WHNP BC. I'm not sure what all those credentials are.
Do you know?
I know.
Just wondered.
Just a quick summary of why we're here today. Potawatomi County Public Health has had the Title X grant funds for family planning services. All last year we've had those funds. We've spent the time getting our organization up and ready to provide services. And now that we have all of the background information, the feds require a lot of us to put in place. We're ready to start providing services, and so Michaela is here to meet you this morning.
Maria,
Yes,
where are those funds coming from?
those funds are coming directly from the Title X grant.
Is that federally funded where the money flows through the state, or is
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah, most of our grants are like that.
Okay.
It's a federal grant.
What, Michaela, will you office in Omaha then, or Gretna, or wherever you work?
Nope, here. Over at the
At the clinic.
clinic where they do the vaccines and.
So it's a part-time position, more or less. That's what it would equate to, the contract is. And then we're going to coordinate with the WIC clinics because the service area for the WIC grant and the Title X grant cover the same amount of counties. And so we can be at the same place at the same time to get people in, have better outreach potential. So there is traveling with it.
Matt,
Go ahead.
Matt, did you plan on, I believe you did, but I just want to hear you answer, extra office space for the possibility of additional
programs and staff.
Yes, for the new facility,
Yes.
Michaela will have an appropriate office at that location. I've spent many times going down and apologizing to the nursing staff that we have right now for the current office setup that we have. I mean, I was down before Michaela came in, we tried to do what we could. I wanted to at least try to get a desk, but it's, you know, we can only fit a folding table in the spot that we're at right now. But by December of this year, you know, we'll get everybody moved over to appropriate, and even for the residents, people who come into the locations. I mean, it will finally be a location that they can come into, and we'll be able to provide what we're supposed to.
Okay, awesome. I figured you had that plan.
We had the Title X, the state was already in communication with us about taking over the Title X funds for this area at the time we started building design. And so as we went through the programming phase of the building design, Title X was in our minds. We need to make sure we have a location for that.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Do you need a motion for that, Susan?
Yes, we
I'll
do.
move that for you.
I'll second.
All right. Motion by Wickman, second by Shea to approve the clinical service provider agreement with Michaela Reynolds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Michaela, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. It's
Is
good.
that an annual agreement then?
It is. It's an annual agreement. The grant funds, it's a 5-year grant fund that we reapply every year. Most of our grants are like that, but.
Okay.
Will that go to regional at some point?
Well, so the coverage area for both WIC and family planning is a 6-county area.
Okay, so it already is.
It would be included in the regional piece of it. The state's got a whole bunch of different proposals they're looking at with different regional areas, but I think that kind of what we were looking at, it looks like they're gonna try to keep this area the same.
Okay.
Who determines the areas for these services? Is that the state?
The state does, they give the local level some weigh in on that, but it's minimal.
All right. Any other questions?
No,
All right.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we
Did
have
we vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Maria up again. Discussion and/or decision to approve and authorize the chair to sign agreement between Potawatomi County Board of Health and Potawatomi County, Iowa, for the purpose of setting forth the terms under which the county will assist the Board of Health in the requested discharge of certain public health duties in Potawatomi County.
Is this a regular deal we have to do every year?
The last time we did it was 2018. So I updated the 2018 agreement between both boards to make it a continuous annual renewal as opposed to a 1-year renewal.
So now as the scope of services changes on page 2 of the agreement under duties of the county, as the Board of Health sets the public health priorities, or as we were to get awarded new things from the state of Iowa, then that would be the points and times when we come in and make sure that we update the agreement with the Board of Supervisors and the Board of Health to keep the agreement current with everybody as far as what the public health department is out there providing for the county. Or if what we're doing today really is another step towards making sure the regionalization conversation that you just had, the state of Iowa, HHS is obviously going through their realignment. They've set their sights really this year. They released their plan a week ago, I think it was. Their site is really set on behavioral health services and substance abuse right now. That's what their legislative priorities for this year are going to be. It looks like public health is about 3rd down on the list of that. And in order to make sure that we're dotting all of our I's, crossing all of our T's, we wanted to make sure that we brought this agreement back in front of the Board of Supervisors and the Board of Health again, to get it renewed and re-signed as to a current agreement. So then as we work down through the realignment process with the state, what that means, then we're up to date with them, because we are the only county in Iowa right now that operates off of an agreement like this. because we are county employees. The Board of Supervisors employs us. The Board of Health has jurisdiction to hire employees, so we worked with Maggie Reyes at the time, County Attorney's Office, and we came up with this agreement. We ran it through the state. The state went through the AG's office and everybody on it, and came to an agreement that this is okay for us to operate in this fashion. Because the county already had the systems in place, we already have HR systems, we already have, fiscal agent systems. It didn't make sense to try to rehash that anew in a public health department when we had all those services available to us here.
So the org chart that's in here is specific for Pot County, right? Okay. So is the other counties connect into this anywhere at all?
No,
Okay.
the other counties that we provide services in is all through by contractual agreement with the state on the grant funds that we have.
Okay.
So, there are times where we're already providing, we started out, usually we're providing a service in Potawatomi County. The state gets to where they like working with different counties, and there's other counties that they struggle working with, so then they'll come to those counties and they'll say, hey, that's how some of the other counties got to join to us. As we've served as a health department since 2018, that's when, as they worked with us and they like working with us and they see that we're submitting things on time, we're doing things as we're supposed to be doing them, then they keep adding more programs to us. They're like, that's kind of how the Title X programming came in and the STI funding came in. And Chris and her program with WIC and how it keeps expanding out. They made it a competitive grant. She was successful at gaining that grant. And so I think it's just that in Pot County, we're providing a really good service and we're able to carry that out to other counties.
We got a great team.
Definitely.
So the org chart that's here, is there a warm body for each of these? I know some of them there wouldn't be because they're boards and commissions and stuff, but for.
Yes.
I think we have a nurse position open, don't we? Isn't the ITS nurse or? Might be one of our nursing positions.
We've made an offer on the ITS nurse, but we already have an ITS nurse in that position, so it's relevant to more than one staff member.
There's a lot of warm bodies here.
Question, where does mental health fit in with all of this? Anywhere?
So, public health doesn't directly address mental health. We work to support the community services and the MHDS that's already there. So we don't want to double do anything that they're already doing. We want to help them do their work.
Okay, all right.
So it's specific to our org chart. It's not in here. Or our agreement, it's not in here, but it's pieces that we find for a community health needs assessment on what the community needs to be healthy, and then we go through and try to find strategies on how we can support those community organizations.
But Suzanne Watson's group, the region, handles everything, mental health, behavioral health.
Yeah.
We support those efforts by pushing out information about their whatever services they offer, or when we have residents come to us and make contact with us and we see that they could potentially use those services, we refer them over to them, but we don't specifically provide any.
I'll make a motion to approve this agreement.
Second.
All right. Motion by Shay, second by Bell to approve the agreement. Additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you,
Is this
ladies.
board, excuse me, is this agreement also approved and signed by the health board too then?
The Board of Health approved the agreement by email.
Okay,
So we had a meeting scheduled for Friday. that
right, I
got
just see it's,
postponed.
Why
we're
weren't you
parallel
there?
there.
I was there.
You was here.
I was there.
You were?
Nobody else was.
Of course you were, Nate.
And Scott, I have a proposal during a budget session that'll gonna cut down some of the warm bodies on the planning side and
Well,
environmental health side.
It's nice to see, at least see a chart and how it flows and such. I just was curious about how the state is treating those as we take on those other counties, that we get appropriately accommodated financially for doing that.
They do provide really good funding for it, so it covers all of our costs and the fringe on top of it.
The state typically always starts out with really good funding, but then once they hook you, they seem to lose the funding.
Definitely do a little of that, yes.
So one of the benefits of the Title X program is that it's supposed to be self-sustaining. So it's where we bill back to insurance for services while we're able to.
So you would be billing back mostly to Medicare or Medicaid, I'm guessing. There's some cumbersomeness with doing that even.
Correct.
Yep.
Talk to the ambulance providers about that situation, how that works.
Yeah, we hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in all those town hall meetings where a lot of providers are very upset at those reimbursement rates and then the amount of administrative time it takes in those.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we'll review this contract or this agreement on an annual basis going forward. Keep back on the schedule for January 2025. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Nice seeing you, Matt. You haven't been up here in a long time.
I know.
All right, next up, Lee Boss, County Treasurer. Discussion and/or decision to approve Potawatomi County Treasurer's semi-annual report for July 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
You each have a copy of my end.
Yep.
Really don't have much to say. There's a lot of outstanding checks.
What was that, Lee?
There's a lot of outstanding checks, you know, you can see at the ending, but, John doesn't know how to put his money in.
Outstanding checks as far as on the payable
The
side?
bank items on the end.
I'm trying to get that to come up, what
1.385.
the hell? Why is that so slow?
Report.
Yeah.
You're a numbers person. You know what you're doing
Sometimes.
sometimes.
And there's nothing out of the ordinary. It looks like it customarily does.
Same thing every time, and the same, outstanding mostly.
Okay.
And it all balances, so that's all you really,
Yeah,
would like to hear.
that's what it's about right there.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve your treasurer's report.
Second.
Motion by Shea, second by Belt to approve the treasurer's report.
One more question, and I should have probably done it when Mr. Wyatt was here. Is there American Rescue Plan, that's you, Mitch, right?
Yeah, ARPA funding.
What's that?
Yep.
Is there a place where there's funding coming in from the feds for the FEMA stuff in here?
Or what, I guess.
The FEMA stuff that we were still, I can check with Matt, okay.
If it was for wages, it would go back into the general fund. If it was for the flood stuff, which I think we're done with, some of that was coming back into the land and acquisition fund. Depending on
And
what
that,
we're spent out of.
that land stuff came in.
Yeah, I think we're all done with all that stuff now.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I still have some salary stuff coming
Is there,
back in.
I mean, there was a couple million there.
In FEMA.
Yeah.
Matt, I spoke with Matt and he did tell me that about 170-some thousand just came in from FEMA.
There was something that came in recently.
Yeah.
We didn't close on them houses.
How many cities out there?
Oh, well, that's okay.
be back in the budget session.
It's not, that some of that FEMA funding that Matt received funds for, we're still getting that from our COVID.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess I'll.
Should've ran down the hall.
Do you have the balances for the FEMA and the federal money that's still sitting out there? Or
Yes.
where we're balanced
Not off the
at?
top of my head, but I have it on
Okay,
email that I can send up.
Send it to the board, please.
Right, we just got 117,000. That was a preemptive payment for 790,000. Those are payroll funds that are getting reimbursed back to us. So, but because it was 790,000, what the feds will do is they'll send you that 117,000 first to try to satisfy you for a little bit while they get you the rest of the 790,000.
yeah, right. Try that at the bank.
And all the flood's all in now, right?
The flood we're paid out on, we're done.
Okay.
So we're just.
This is, the
COVID wages.
COVID money is what's coming in now.
If you wanna just
We have 6 open projects.
give us a balance on the open projects.
We'll do.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Did we move?
No,
You didn't vote. I have a motion by Shay, second by Belt to approve.
All right. All those in favor?
bye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Lee, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lee.
All right. We don't have committee appointments on our agenda, but we need to appoint Board of Supervisor as a secondary for SWIPCO. I'm the primary on that, but they need an alternate from Potawatomi County's Board of Supervisors. In addition to that, they're also looking for an at-large position, which would be somebody, you can't hold an elected office to be at-large, and they're looking for somebody from rural Potawatomi County to fill this role. I've reached out to a couple of people. I'm still waiting to hear back from them. But at this time, SWIPCO's meeting is in February, and they want to approve the full slate of their officers or their board. And right now, they've got a vacancy on that board because we don't have a secondary from us appointed.
Where do they meet?
Usually Atlantic, but they do a lot of Zoom meetings as well.
We don't got 2 votes on the board though.
No, and it's just if I am unable to attend,
Okay,
then you would go in my absence.
I would be interested in that if no one else is.
All right.
Second.
been there, done that.
Lynn was pretty dedicated to, Lynn Groby was.
Yes.
He was dedicated to that meeting.
All right. Well, I don't think we need to vote on it. I think
Okay.
we just put Brian's name in there. So thank you for doing that.
Great.
And I will keep you up to date.
Yes, please let me know when the meeting is and
And
whatever.
they do have a formal onboarding process for new directors, and that's what they're trying to get scheduled. So,
Okay.
They're usually at 1 o'clock, weren't they?
yes.
On a Tuesday?
No, I don't think so.
I think
No, I
it's
just-
usually Wednesdays. Yeah. All right. And I think all of our employees did an outstanding job with just dealing with the snow and the cold. I mean, not just secondary roads, but the
No,
people that
Sheriff's
moved in,
Department,
the people that came into the courthouse to work,
Sure.
to be customer facing.
Everybody.
I mean, everybody was just
I
outstanding.
do have a question. In the past, has weather, for whatever reason, has the courthouse ever been closed because of weather?
yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
And that gets to be a real sticky situation.
Big old
Yeah.
controversy about it.
As chair, you get a call that, and last
called
year
it.
I dodged the bullet.
So Jeff, if the courthouse, if the chairman, so there was a lot of confusion last year, and so we changed the process a
Wasn't
little
last
bit,
year.
that the chairperson makes the decision if the courthouse closes, lets the executive assistant know, the executive assistant lets the department heads know, and then they let their employees know. And that's the chain of communication. So anything else out there where somebody says it's closed, If it didn't come through this chain, it's not accurate.
Okay.
Now, if the chairperson chooses to close the courthouse, we pay employees for the rest of the day.
Okay,
If
that's
the
what that's
elected,
the question I was gonna ask.
yeah, if the elected departments, so departments that have elected leaders, they can have different hours if they want to. If they choose to close, they're closing the department, not the courthouse. So then employees would use vacation time or comp time or something like that.
I see.
And so it can be sticky because we do have operations, as you know, that run 24/7. You know, our B&G buildings and grounds, they wouldn't be able to stop, necessarily working outside. 911 can't stop, and so we try to be very cognizant of those departments that can't close when making that decision. So it's pretty rare when we do so.
All right.
Yeah, I can't remember I don't know if you were here, Jeanette, or Jan, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know that I've been here, but there was some confusion last year about the courthouse
Oh,
closing,
no,
but
man.
the official
Did we
closure
close?
for whether.
No, we did not.
I was gonna say, no.
We
No.
didn't. Some employees thought we did,
We did,
but we didn't.
it was,
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago, and I wasn't even they couldn't even get a hold of the chair, I can't remember who the chair was. I was the pro tem chair.
Pro tem, not Tim.
No,
Oh,
and I said, yeah, let's close it.
I did.
Treasurer said she was closing, the auditor said he was closing, recorder said they were closed, and I said, well, if those other people are all closing, it was gonna be in the court, the states had already closed. I can't remember the exact
yeah,
situation.
there's two issues involved. Getting to work is one, and then if it starts getting bad, getting home was the other, yeah. So,
That's the
Yeah.
worst part, cause it gets dark so,
yeah.
so early. And that's the worst thing you wanna have happen with, an employee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always look at safety as the number one issue.
Yep,
That's how I look at
safety is,
everything.
safety first.
Okay.
So are we gonna,
So there isn't any public comments.
we're not gonna call anybody for public comment? See where they're at.
Well, you might as well call.
And then closed session,